Hi everyone, this is Donnie Kunstler, and welcome to another episode of The Spirit of the Song. So today we're going to learn about a powerful song that everybody knows, and it's a song that many people in Klal Yisrael have been singing for over 20 years. And there's a story behind this song that is so amazing that this song is the reason why the group Shalsheles became the group Shalsheles, and 7 albums later, and many more than that, because how many people were inspired to put out their own albums after Shalsheles put out their albums. I know for myself, it definitely whet my appetite to put out my own V'Havienu series, and that started when Yitzchak Rosenthal put out that Shalsheles 1 album, and eventually put out 6 more after that. So today we're going to hear from Simcha Sussman, another member of Shalsheles, and he's going to tell us the amazing story of how not only did the song Einai come into the world, but how Shalsheles started because of that song. And he also is going to tell us the lessons that he personally has learned and is actively living because of this story. So sit tight and enjoy this story. This is when you talk about the story behind the song, it doesn't get any better than this.
Hi everyone, my name is Simcha Sussman from Shalsheles, and I want to give you a little background actually to the beginning of Shalsheles, which came to be because of this song Einai, which is really a trademark of our albums over the years. It's hard to get the story in 3 or 4 minutes, but I'll try to give it over to you because there's an extremely powerful message here for everyone's lives. We go back to the summer of 1998. Yitzchak Rosenthal, the composer, creator, a good friend of mine, Yitzchak Rosenthal and I were in Camp Monk, and we were going up against each other, color war, which was going to be probably my final grand sing against him. We were good friends. We competed against each other for many years. And as always had worked there, when 2 teams were picking theme songs, if both teams wanted the same tune, there was a coin toss. Flipped a coin to see who would win. The song at question that we both wanted happened to have been a song called V'Ashiva Sheftayach by a boys' choir, Shalsheles boys' choir, same choir as the famous Tov L'Hodos song. And the flip came, and I won the flip. I got the song, which was a big victory for me. It's a big thing in camp when you win the flip for the song that both teams wanted. Yitzchak on the other team, being that he lost the flip and didn't have anything else in his repertoire in terms of songs that he was going to use for a theme song, he had no choice, and he decided to use a song that he had written himself. He had just started writing some songs for himself, just for fun. He didn't know what was going to be with them at all. But being in this situation, he said, you know what, I have no choice. I don't have a song anyway. May as well try my song. And that song was the tune which would eventually be Einai. And it took off. It was extremely well received in camp. It was a big hit. One could say that it won. It's hard to know. We don't judge things that way. But bottom line was that the song was received with a tremendous amount of enthusiasm in camp. And a few months later, he called me up and he said, you know what, remember how people really love that tune? I have a bunch of other songs. Why don't we sit down and why don't we talk about maybe putting out an album? And the rest is history, as we say. 23 years later, 7 albums, all began because of that coin toss back in camp in the summer of 1998. So that's the story behind how the song came to be. But I think that there's really 2 powerful messages that I give over to my Talmidim over the years. There's one surface message, and there's something even deeper than that. I think the basic message is that sometimes in life, you lose a flip and you lose something doesn't work out. He had thought that he lost the flip, color war, grand sing, the excitement, the drama, the tension, and you wanted to have a certain song and you think that things don't work out your way and there's a coin toss and you lose, and that gives the person a sense of despair, a sense of loss. But in actuality, he didn't lose. Because of that lost coin toss, the whole concept of Shalsheles came to be, and if not for that, I wouldn't be here after all these albums. He wouldn't have been able to put out all this music, and you, the listeners, and we, the listeners, would not have been zeicha to so many songs that have inspired so many people around the world. So, a very basic message in life: when things don't seem to work out on the surface, we believe that Hashem has planned for us a tremendous amount of good, despite the fact that on the surface it doesn't look so good. Lost coin toss. the result of that loss, so to speak, was the victory for all of us of the beautiful, inspiring music of Shalsheles, and affected my life in so many ways, which is not for the scope of this recording, maybe for a different time. But this is a deeper message, a message that I think goes a step deeper at a more sophisticated level. We were just talking about the lost coin toss by Yitzchak. Let's talk about my victory. And I won the toss. I won the toss, and at the time I thought that I won the most amazing thing. I won the song that everyone wanted, and I got it. And the lesson of this story of Shalsheles and Einai 23 years later, looking back, is that sometimes good things happen to us, and we think that Hashem is doing something good for us, and we have no clue as to the level, as to the impact, as to the depth, as to the level of goodness that Hashem does for us. Because that winning coin toss for me was something, looking back 23 years later, was very insignificant. At the time, it felt like amazing, but really what Hashem had planned for me was so many other things. I'm here living in Eretz Yisrael right now, and I can trace my way back directly. The schus to be able to live here has to do with that coin toss. That victory, that win of the coin toss, which gave me the song, was completely not the main thing. That was a diversion to all the good that was underneath there. Shalsheles, beginning my career in chinuch, being a chazan, eventually moving to Eretz Yisrael. So many things that have happened in our lives came about because of that victory, but not through the song, through something beneath and underneath all the goodness that Hashem does for us. There's another whole element, a whole another dimension of good that Hashem has prepared for us. And I think that message is something deeper. We talk very often about the message of when things don't go well, to believe and have emunah b'tachan that Hashem has good plan for us and we'll see the good eventually. And that's a message that we live life with. But the real ultimate madrega of emunah b'tachan is not just when things are bad to believe that they're good, is when things are good to recognize that we really don't have even the slightest bit of a clue as to the extent of the goodness of Hashem, and there's so much more under the surface that Hashem is doing good for us. That was what I would say in these 5 minutes, how Einai and Shalsheles came to be, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we should continue to try to keep our eyes open, both when difficult things come our way and when good things come our way, to keep our eyes open and try to search and see as much good in what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing as much as possible. Enjoy.
I say Shamayim Vareh.
Living L'chaim.